Hey guys, this is my Conquering Crevasse run covering parts 1 to 3, which are the level 20 and 50 Lufenia difficulty stages in the Crevasse event. I actually did them in reverse order, meaning I started from stage 3 and then stage 2 and then stage 1, but in the videos I will be uploading in sequential order. So starting off in stage 1, the party that I use is Paladin, Pecil, General Leo and Penelo. In case you're wondering why the heck am I using Penelo on stage 1, she's actually much better used in the more difficult stages in Crevasse because of how strong she is. But in my circumstance, by the time I got to stage 1, so I've actually completed stage 2 to 6, I realized that I needed to use the 3 white crystal codes in order to meet the required score for all the rewards. And I don't really have any good white crystal character build. I mean, I do have characters like Hope or Anna Crow, but they wouldn't give me enough points in their weapon codes. So I needed to use Penelo here, which is why I actually rerun part 6. If you looked at my playlist for this event, I did part 6 again, this time removing Penelo just so that I could use her on this stage and then unlocking all the rewards. So that being said, Penelo on this stage makes this stage a complete cakewalk, so I wouldn't go so much into the strategy here. Essentially, I just had Paladin, Pecil and General Leo load up on their call abilities, and then on Penelo's turn, which is turn number 3, she just spin to 100% force gauge, and then you go into FR and BT mode using the Luna Freya LD call to allow her enough turns to squeeze in a BT plus there as well, which is what I'm about to use. I was actually quite pleasantly surprised with how much damage she put out here. Yes, I know this stage the bosses really only have like 50 million HP each, so not too much, but look at who she's actually bringing with in this party. It's only Paladin, Pecil and General Leo, and my Paladin Pecil doesn't even have BT aura because he doesn't have a BT weapon. So this is a BT mode that doesn't have any supporting auras to back it up besides Penelo's, doesn't have any launch because the bosses are immune to launch, and doesn't have any off-turn damage as well because I'm using General Leo and Paladin Pecil. Yes, they do somewhat support Penelo's damage, they do offer a little bit, but honestly it's Paladin Pecil and General Leo, so you know there's so many much better characters that you can use and she'll definitely pump out higher damage. So even with this suboptimal setup and no launch and no off-turn damage, she actually finished off the fight in this BT mode. Easy 100 million damage, and that's it for part 1. part 2 of Crevasse, and in this stage I'm using a party of H, Ferris and Core. This allows me to use the 3 blue crystal code and the 2 dagger codes, being H and Ferris. If you look at the codes, the dagger times 2 is the only times 2 code that gives you 9 points, meaning that if you pair the dagger times 2 with another single weapon plus 3 code, that gives you plus 12, which is actually equivalent points to any of the times 3 weapon codes. Unfortunately, I do not have Ferris FR. If not, I wouldn't even have used Core. I had to use Core here because Core is the only blue crystal character with an FR, in my roster at least. The drawback of course of using Core is that he's a unique weapon type, so his weapon code only gives plus 2 instead of plus 3. So overall, this particular stage gives me 65 points out of a possible maximum score of 66, which is still pretty decent. This team absolutely shreds this stage. I'm fairly sure that you can also use this team in one of the Shinryu stages such as stage 4 or 5. Stage 4 or 5 in Crevasse also rewards often damage quite significantly, and this team should do fairly well there as well, maybe with just some minor adjustments in call abilities and such. On stage 2 here, the really only challenge at the start is that all 3 bosses will use Lightning Bolt Plus at the start, and what I would recommend is to actually use Core to link to Ferris at the start rather than link to H. So don't do what I did. If you link Core to Ferris at the start and you use Age's smoke ability, what happens at the start is that Age will evade all the Lightning Bolt Plus, and Core and Ferris will take greatly reduced damage because Core's aura provides a significant defense buff and break immunity to the character he's linked with. Since I didn't link Ferris up, so as a result she took significant damage here, but she still managed to survive, and I can then heal off with the Garnet LD core that I'm using. Assuming you've passed through the Lightning Bolt Plus at the start, the rest of the fight is a cakewalk. So all you really have to do is just spam buttons to upkeep the buffs on all 3 characters, make sure none of the buffs fall off, and their often damage will do the rest of the work. Each boss only has 45 million HP, but there are 3 of them, so in total there's 135 million HP pool, but because it's divided across 3 bodies, you'd actually very quickly mow through their health because most of the often damage here does splash or AoE damage. So right here I've hit Force time, so I'll be using Cross Force ability, and pretty much that's it for this fight. If you do have Ferris FR, I would recommend maybe consider not using Core. You could get 1 additional point that way if you really need it. And you can even consider a party of H, Ferris, FR and Zidane. Zidane actually doesn't do much to contribute to the often strategy, but he is a blue dagger user, which means that if you feed in Zidane over Core, you get to use dagger times 3 and blue crystal times 3 code. And even without Core, I think with Ferris and her FR, this fight should still be pretty much a cakewalk.
想定済みだ。強払いはしてやるさ。沈んでもらう。援護するぜ。責務は果たす。責務は果たす。やっちまえ。想定済みだ。気合い入れるぜ。いけるよ。決まりだ。痛いじゃ済まないぜ。よっ。甘く見るなよ。責務は果たす。気合い入れるぜ。いけるよ。決まりだ。
That's it. On to stage 3. Stage 3 of Conquering Crevasse. This stage took me the longest out of all 6 stages in terms of clear time, but that's mainly because I don't really have any very fully built yellow short sword crystal characters. I guess I do have Ramza, but unfortunately I've used Ramza in stage 5 before, and I really didn't want to go back and unlock Ramza if I don't have to, so instead I used Bards in his place. On hindsight, it's probably a better idea to switch Bards and Ramza around, because you probably don't need Ramza in stage 5, and having him here will make the fight go so much faster, but hindsight is 2020, I suppose. If you have Ardyn BT plus or BT mode, it's also significantly faster that way. I guess you can call it lucky in the fact that I scored 4 copies of Ardyn's FR while I was chasing Penelo, so coming into this fight I had Ardyn's FR to fall back on. But I had to use Lightning's PT mode because I don't have Ardyn's PT mode, and I don't want to use Bard's PT mode because he can't really break enemies, or he doesn't have force re-break on his kit, so he doesn't really gel well with Ardyn's FR. That being said, with this party, you don't really need to have a lot of maxed out characters, because this is a very safe and consistent strategy. For one thing, there's only one boss here in the middle, so with Lightning and Ardyn being able to delay, the boss in the middle will never get a single turn ever. And all you have to do is set a Lufenia orb code that increases each time you break an enemy, so you don't have to worry about the orb as well. The only thing that could potentially kill you is actually the minion that the boss will summon. The minion cannot die, and the minion is also immune to delays, so eventually it will get a turn. On the minion's third turn, it will use triple cut plus, which deals a lot of damage and would normally one-shot a character if you don't have damage mitigation. The easy way to get around it is to simply give Ardyn a call with the lock debuff ability. Examples include Warrior of Light or Zac or Celeste, any of them would work. And when the minion comes up, just have Ardyn use a call ability and debuff lock on the minion. And that's it. Once that's done, there's no way for you to actually die on this event, so all you have to do is just focus your damage on the boss and slowly whittle him down for the rest of the fight. I went into 2 force times with Ardyn, so I guess that shows how long it took me, but of course your mileage may vary depending on how built you have these characters. I'm fairly sure if you have Ardyn's PT plus, it will go significantly faster. My party, for reference, only has Lightning, base BT, Ardyn FR but no BT weapon, and Bards is the only one that's green. None of them have a blue high armor as well. They only have, I believe it's only base high armor. And finally, Lightning is the one holding the 5/5 ultimate weapon. Long story short, once you set up, all you have to do is keep targeting the boss in the middle, forget about the minion. Once the minion is up, just use a call ability on Ardyn to lock the minion onto him, and then go back on railing on the boss. That's really pretty much it for this stage. It may take quite long in terms of number of turns because the boss is pretty tanky, but you will be pretty safe throughout the way, so you will definitely be able to make it. So this is what I was referring to, triple cut plus. Normally it will one-shot the character, but Ardyn with his LD buff up cannot be killed. So the good thing also is that once the minion uses triple cut plus, it will kill itself, which makes it even easier. So now it's just a free reign to kill off the boss. That's it for my Conquering Crevasse parts 1 to 3 run. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoy the content, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next fight. Bye!